If you're looking for your life radio station, that sucker is gone.
There'll only be a memory of the music you heard over the years, but the country will not die. It'll just have a new home. And I'm sure that home will give it a space to grow.
Probably wrong.
You know there's lots of different kinds of music in America, but background music is the heart and soul.
This has been this, and this dream is the sound. And this dream will self-destruct in 3, 2...
In the courtroom. It's the height of the summer. Speaking from the entryway into the room.
Your Honor,
Yes.
may the accused be brought in?
Yes. Please turn off the fan.
Pardon my saying so, but in this heat...
Turn it off!
The door opens. A warden enters with the accused.
Your Honor, the accused. Over here. You will have to keep standing during the hearing, understand?
The fan rotates more slowly and comes to a stop.
Please be seated.
Sit down. Please be seated. You're allowed.
You can go, Sweeney. You too, Rossi.
As you wish, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Both men leave the room. It's silent for a moment. The judge leafs through his papers.
New York City, August 1950. Your name? Birth? When? Where? Skin color? Build height? Religious denomination? Average alcohol consumption? Mental illnesses?
Not that I know of.
Suspected in the murder
Of?
This heat is killing me. There's never been a summer this hot, do you recall? 6 years ago, maybe. And Joe Bamfield and Ellen
Hay.
Correct. And both were killed by a bomb. That summer was as hot as this.
I remember.
Of course, we weren't here to discuss high temperatures.
I should hope not.
It would be foolish of me to let you answer the questions I already know the answers to.
You?
It is true, for example, that you occupied 3 rooms of an old house at the corner of 63rd Street and 5th Avenue near the zoo. You were arrested by officers Bondi and Kramer in the lobby of the Atlantic Hotel shortly after it happened, as you hastened toward the exit.
Hastened.
Well, it is true, after all, that you...
Of course, that's correct. But if you'll forgive me for returning to your first question, do you really know who I am?
The good god of Manhattan. Some say. The good god of squirrels.
The good god. Not bad.
3 sacks of squirrel fodder were found in your apartment.
And confiscated. What a shame. I was good business for Manhattan. Or have you ever seen anyone else using those vending machines in the subway station?
So you bought those nuts for the animals? Are you an animal lover? There are said to be countries where those rodents are shy and innocent, but our squirrels seem mean and rotten, and are rumored to be in league with the forces of evil. Or are you an animal trader, a breeder? I'm informing you that the hearing is now officially in session.
I don't know if I can satisfy anyone's curiosity. What do you expect of me? Justification? The best I could do would be to enlighten you. But if you would permit an old man to offer you some advice...
Looks as though I've kept pretty well. I'm not exactly a spring chicken myself anymore.
Begin at the beginning or at the end. But be systematic about your questioning, sir. I see you've cleared out my office and have my card file and correspondence in front of you. You couldn't have had it much easier. My work was more tedious, painstaking detective work, and I couldn't have completed it without the squirrels. They were my newswire service, they were mail carriers, messengers, scouts, and agents. Hundreds of them were my subjects. 2 of them, Billy and Frankie, were my captains. You could really count on them. I never planted a bomb until the 2 of them found the place and calculated the time that would be dead certain. A time and a place that would be dead certain.
Dead certain of what?
Of hitting it, who it was intended for.
And who was it intended for?
Oh, you know. How do you view the affair?
I don't see it at all anymore. I see a series of assassinations executed against people who never bothered anyone by a lunatic who was nowhere to be found.
I thought you would take your psychiatrist's evaluation seriously.
I only had held that opinion until I became aware of the fact that you were an author. You were the author of these events.
Author. Very good. The author.
The investigations are already closed, with the exception of this last case, that is.
This last case, as you choose to call it, in your questionable jargon, isn't closed for me either. Since I didn't have the opportunity to properly finish the job, I'd like to know what happened to the young man who got away.
Got away?
I doubt he had so much as a scratch on him.
Came away unscathed, but...
Didn't he take it off?
Certainly. He took the ship to Cherbourg the very same evening.
Ha! There you have it. This is the person who swore he wouldn't take the ship, but would live and die with her, consign himself to uncertainty and need, found his heritage and his language, and speak to her in a new tongue till the end of his days, and took the ship without even taking the time to bury her. Then he went on land, over there, and forgot that he felt less ground beneath his feet at the sight of her body blown to bits than he had at the sight of the Atlantic.
Yes, he didn't bury that girl.
Didn't even bury her. Boy, he's really got a right to live. But I'll tell you how it came to that. How does the saying go? The whole truth and nothing but the truth? But I'm also the star witness, and will soon be abandoning my role as the accused.
I'm ready.
It's barely been 2 weeks since I received news of the incident at Grand Central Station. It came from a very low-level animal whose services I'd never considered very important and who was just entering his probationary period.
And what happened at the train station?
Oh, nothing special. About 5 o'clock. About 5 o'clock in the afternoon, shortly after the express train from Boston had entered the underworld of Grand Central, and the travelers milled out into the halls and exits following the red heat and the verdant green glimmer of the arrows, while organ music welled up from the walls. When all the clocks were running and the light in the neon tubes danced without restraint against the everlasting darkness, 2 newcomers arrived. You might think that's nothing special, and you'd be entirely right. And yet, it is always a place, the position of the hand on the clock, an incredible piece of music, a quivering train on a track, and a whir of human voices that set the stage for it to begin again.
For what to begin?
She walked behind him, dressed in pink and white. There were so many voices there, and hers was null and void. There were so many possibilities, and this was the least likely of all, but she tried it anyway. Go on when the light turns green. You can think about it while there's still time. You can't take it with you. Go on and speed up. Sleep. Speed up dreams with us. Cloud bursts, rain falling down. Speed up. Earthquake, easier, safer. Think about it when the light turns green. Beware the red and the brown, the black and the yellow peril. What are our murderers supposed to think? You can't stop. Stop when the lights turn red.
At Grand Central Station.
Are you looking for the exit?
Excuse me?
I thought, after having seen you in Boston, that you were a stranger here.
Don't worry about me. I'll find my way around.
How did you like Boston?
Well,
And New York? Do you like New York?
thanks. I don't know yet.
I sat in the same compartment the whole trip, 2 rows behind you. You were at our last dance at the university.
Yes? By coincidence.
My name's Jennifer. You looked my way once and I thought you might come and dance with me.
Oh, I can't dance.
I could see that. I like Europeans. And what brings you to New York?
Oh, I just wanted to get away. I only have a couple hours or a couple of days till the next ship sails.
How awful. Do you have to go back?
I don't have to, but I want to. Didn't I say that already?
No.
Yes. Goodbye. It's been my pleasure.
Then I'll just get in this lavender taxi and you can take the white and blue one behind it. The two will cross paths again and again over on Broadway and further on up in the Bronx. But you won't be inside anymore, and neither will I.
Listen, miss.
Jennifer.
Lavender isn't your color. How old are you?
23.
And what do you do?
I'm studying political science, but I started and I'd really like to see the world. I know hotels in Boston and Philadelphia and might soon get to know one in Paris, but I don't know any in New York. Nuts, isn't it?
Oh, please.
So I couldn't be of any assistance to you?
Then you can come with me after all, since it's so crazy that you don't know your way around here. I may not know any hotels here either, but it doesn't bother me. Anyway, I'm hungry, and have to get something to eat before I can think another thought.
People are passing by, and Jennifer takes a few more steps.
Jennifer! Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing?
Nuts! I'm going to fetch some nuts from the vending machine because you're so hungry. Here's how it works.
She pulls down the handle.
The music is free. You get nuts and music to last a lifetime for some pocket change.
My God, that looks like squirrel food.
They're nice and fresh, I swear. And I could swear the squirrel cart all of their money over there here just to make sure their hoard of good food will be replenished.
Guess what I saw, Jennifer? A squirrel. And it handed me a letter.
Really?
What it says is, don't tell anyone.
Anything else?
You will spend this evening with Jennifer on this heavenly earth.
Why heavenly earth?
Because that's what it's called here. Manana Hatata. At least, that's how Indians explained it to me. But they were all decked out in costumes and looked about as authentic as those buffaloes trained to run on racetracks.
Who's the letter from?
I can't read the signature. These nuts aren't very good, but we still have to eat something sensible. What is sensible?
Italian and Chinese, Spanish and Russian, artichokes swimming in oil, weak tea with bird's nest soups, leeks to go with the tender snake meat, and seafood fish from all the world's oceans, followed by fruits harvested from every country in the world.
I could go for a cold Arctic blast because it's so warm here. And a dim-lit room, some snow geese, and a drink from Greenland filled with ice floes. I'd like to spend a couple more hours looking at you. Your cold shoulders, chilly face, cool round eyes. Do you believe that would be possible?
I firmly believe so.
In an after-hour bar, then on the street, later in a seedy hotel.
Who's to say you can't dance?
Come on, let's go.
My poor hands, my poor shoulders. Please don't do that. Don't do anything to me.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Where are we? Why have the waiters stopped singing?
You've had enough to drink. That was back there. They don't even have singing waiters here.
Why not?
Just a minute. Just give me 1 minute of your time. Your hand, madame. I want to read the future in the palm of your hand.
Come on.
Yeah, the future. Wait, she wants to predict the future for me. Show her your hands, too. She's a real gypsy woman. Brown, red, and so sad. Are you for real, dear lady? Are you?
I can't read anything from your hand. Did you hurt yourself?
It was him. He dug his nails into them. It still hurts a lot.
Jennifer.
Nothing? Nothing at all?
I could be mistaken.
You don't say.
And his hand?
You will live a long life, young man. You will never forget.
I barely dare hope as much.
But you didn't even look at his hand.
Calm down. All those gypsy women need is one look at the dregs at the bottom of the glass you were drinking from. There's a lemon rind still swirling in mine. That says it all.
Yes, and good night.
She didn't take the money, you know. I'd really like to know all the places I've been with you.
For your diary, you taking notes?
No, I don't think it's diary material.
Come on, the fresh air will do you good. Watch out, it's 3 steps up.
2 o'clock in the morning and who's still sitting on the stoop? You poor man, don't you need to get some sleep?
Thanks for the inquiry. Whatever a poor Mac like Mac is able.
Are you an actor?
Going down in the pain-racked city in the everlasting agony lost amid lost soul. I'm only asking for a little something for me and my kind.
I have a little sack of nuts. $2 and a scarf. Here, take it.
On no one's behalf, and with no one's blessing, and with no one to thank, there are too many of us here. Ma'am, in this city of beggars, we have no color. We envy the white skin and the black. The Bowery is the end of the line. But you belong up there on the L with your gentleman friend. Hurry before they tear it down. It sinks to high heaven down here. The station is just around the corner and to the left. May you rest in peace.
Thank you. My dear gentleman friend, I'm too tired to ride home. Let's walk.
By 10 a.m. tomorrow. I absolutely must. Sorry. We'll check into the first hotel we find. Is that okay with you?
Say something about my eyes again.
I don't think it makes any sense to keep looking much longer. Not this late.
Or about my mouth? How did that go? You brushed my lips with a straw and my knee with your knee, and then you said...
Passe de history.
No?
Well, then I'll tell you right now that I'd appreciate it if you didn't go into hysterics about it.
Let's keep going. Let's go on a lot longer.
It's almost morning, baby. What do you usually do at this hour?
Sleep. But when there's a dance on the weekend, I do stay up this late. And Arthur kisses me goodnight. Or Mark, or Truman. Didn't you meet Truman? He was the one with me back there, and he's very, very nice. Now it's your turn to kiss me goodnight.
Oh, that's better left to Truman or Mark.
Of course you don't have to. Don't tell anyone. What are you doing here in front of this horrible hotel?
Be reasonable.
They enter the building.
What do you want?
Do you have any rooms available?
Just on the ground floor, room number 1, pay in advance. Here's a key, check out by noon.
They proceed without speaking down the corridor. He unlocks the door and locks it behind them after they've entered.
Never go to a hotel with a stranger, right?
Heard that line before.
Oh, the air in here is terrible. There isn't even a fan.
That's so bad.
But I can't. Just right now, I just can't. I don't know the first thing about you. Please tell me something about yourself. Let's talk and think about it.
Take off your clothes.
My poor hands, my poor, poor hands. Will you look at my poor hands?
Aren't you the one who asked me to do all this? I never would have dreamed about hurting someone like that.
If the rooms weren't so dirty and dark, a hangout for flies and roaches. I'm even sticky from the syrupy thick humidity. Can you taste the sweetness in the air?
Oh, you're so sweet, Jennifer. Don't think about it. Just close your eyes. Oh no, did I really say sweet?
Yes.
That's not at all what I wanted to say. You just blurt stuff like you're, out without thinking, you know. To be honest, what I'm really thinking is that I have to be at the ship's office early tomorrow.
What was that again the gypsy woman said?
Something different from what the handwriting analyst said who came to our table just before she did. The exaggerated tales in your writing indicated sensuality. My cramped capitals show that I have something to hide, and the T's crossed a significant, bold imagination. Inasmuch as the will and the compatible astrological signs are there, harmonious partnership cannot be ruled out. But, my sweet Jennifer, how fleeting the night that will bring close without knowing what long days each of us has in the past.
Should I turn off the light?
Turn it off. And believe me, I'd love to blanket you in snow, to make you even colder than you were, to make you regret even more than you do. I, too, will live to regret it, or forget about it. In the best-case scenario, you never know ahead of time. Even afterwards, one night is too much and a little too little.
I could turn on the radio. There must be a late-night broadcast. When I come home, I always listen to music before I go to sleep. That's really nice.
Music? My dear Jennifer, you're not going to listen to music now. I won't have it.
No. You're terrible. Why? Why are you doing this? Why?
Why do you kiss me then? Why? Jennifer. Wake up. Miss, please.
What time is it?
12 o'clock. I should have long since been...
Long since. Of course.
It's dark as night in here. One underground window, an airwell that doesn't even let in the light of day. You were right, by the way, about the dirt.
Oh, just get up and go then. I never asked you to wait for me. You won't get your boarding ticket and you'll miss the boat.
Don't talk like that, Jennifer. You were simply irresistible, and I'm very grateful.
It's just awful, isn't it?
What?
Waking up in the dark like this and down so low on the ground, with this taste in your mouth?
We'll go have breakfast, and you'll feel better.
I won't do, and I won't feel anything anymore.
If you simply get dressed, darling, then we can talk about it in peace. If we could just get out of here.
Give me my clothes. You can touch them, and you don't have to turn your back. What kind of distance and proper etiquette are you suddenly trying to get me used to now?
I'm sorry.
Even though I was so irresistible?
Please forgive me. I should have known better.
Are you checking out, or...
Are you checking out or staying in?
Well, we're on our way out.
Well, get on with it then. What are we supposed to clean up out there? Unbelievable. It's past noon already. There ought to be,
Just keep going when the light turns green. Keep going. Trust us and trust us. Why not enjoy without regret? Tell everyone, tell the whole world. First dibs on the sun and then count on the moon. The stuff of dreams, poets, lighter, tighter, more flammable. The shirt off your back's the way of all flesh. Why blame others? Hep it up, turn it on, drink it down. Broaden your horizons, gaze into the future. Think about it when the light turns red. Stop, you can't do it.
A letter from a squirrel?
No letter from a squirrel.
In the courtroom.
That's how it started.
Looks like the beginning of the end.
You don't understand. There was peril in the air, and I got wind of it, sensing that it had begun again. It was from that very moment that I began following their trail.
What was there to follow? I don't see anything unusual about a young man on vacation, looking for and finding a little adventure. Vacation flings, the usual, not incredibly ethical and rather casual. A case as common as a cold.
No case. The day had come. The creatures of the night had vanished.
Are you a moralist? Does this sort of thing inspire your moral outrage?
Oh, no. I have nothing against the casual companions, the bored or the lonely, and their little mishaps. They don't want to be killing time all alone, you know? But didn't you notice how it started? He said, "A letter from the squirrel," because he was a bit unsure of himself. He shouldn't have posed it as a question like that. She answered, "No, the letter from the squirrel." She should have answered his question. She never should have answered his question like that. So he kept questioning her.
Back at the hotel.
Hungry?
Is that so important right now?
Yes.
Hungry.
For coffee and white toast and orange juice?
Incredibly hungry. For everything.
Back in the courtroom.
These words prompted her to look at him again. The day had come.
So they went for breakfast. From the cafeteria, he telephoned the cruise line, who informed him that he should inquire again tomorrow, or the next day, because they still couldn't guarantee him passage on the Ile de France.
Day had broken, and the day had come. Life teemed up and down every nook, cranny, crook and cranny in town, and the raging hymn began again, praising labor, wages, and higher profits. The chimneys stoked in a roar and stood like the columns of a revived Nineveh or Babylon, and both the dunce caps and the skull caps of the city's skyscrapers brushed against the gray tropical sky, dripping with humidity and acting like a shapeless, scummy sponge, sopping on the roofs below. The great printing presses were filled with the rhapsody of typesettings, gripping into current and future events, reporting and announcing. Tons of cabbage heads spilled out over the marketplace. Hundreds of corpses were manicured, made up, and put on display in the funeral homes. Yesterday's waste and refuse was incinerated in a high-pressure atmospheric inferno, and shoppers rummaged for replenishment and the tatters of tomorrow. Packages rolled along the conveyor belts, and the escalators hauled people up and down like bunches of grapes through the squadrons of soot, smog, and exhaust. The savage summer roared into color in the auto body paint shops, and the hats of women sauntering down Park Avenue wore, and in the gleaming containers for rice and honey, turkey and crab. And the people came to life. Wherever they went, they felt they belonged in the city. The only one they had ever discovered and designated for themselves to satisfy every wish and desire. This city of cities which took everyone in the arms of its desperation and agony, and where anything and everything can thrive. Everything. Even this.
Crime. Murder.
That wasn't what I had in mind.
Okay, good. So they both left the cafeteria after the phone call and wended their way by subway over to 125th Street in Harlem. There they stopped at a bar, where they picked up 2 swizzle sticks as souvenirs, and finally at a church where they absconded with 2 paper fans depicting scenes from the life of St. Catherine of Siena. They were spotted in a record store listening to popular music cuts in the company of several men. Shortly thereafter, following the advice of a travel agency, they proceeded to Lexington Avenue and occupied a room at the Atlantic Hotel.
There's one minor detail I'd hate to see get swept under the carpet. The thing about the floor. In the event that you're sincerely looking for an explanation.
The thing about the floor.
The lobby of the Atlantic Hotel.
Room number 307 on the 7th floor is vacant, sir. On the other side of the courtyard. It's so very quiet.
No view of the street? Nothing higher up?
Nothing else you can do? Nothing really?
I'm sorry. If you'd stick around a while longer, I could put you down for a street-side room higher up. But you never know.
Well, we don't know either. If we'll still be here, but please keep in mind. Are you unhappy?
No, it's probably better. And this way nothing can bother us anyway.
This way, please. Going up.
The elevator closes, going up.
Going up! What a trip. I can feel it in my ears. And you'll see what's up there. An air conditioner with cold air, plenty of water, and maid service by the hour.
Elevator stops. They proceed down the hall to their room.
I'm sure looking forward to satisfying my curiosity about your wet hair, your wet mouth, your eyelashes laden with droplets of water. You'll be sprite and white and sensible. We won't accuse each other of anything.
When your ship sails, it sails. If I have to wave goodbye, I'll wave. If I may kiss you one last time, I will. Quick, on the cheek. Unlock the door.
In a room on the 7th floor.
Yes, Jennifer, my eager little servant. But, being the skeptic I am, I'm going to put you in a tougher test. Tell me, when's tomorrow?
Tomorrow at the earliest.
And today?
Today at the latest.
And now?
Right now.
In the courtroom.
So further intimacies ensued.
No. You could hardly call them that. Please refrain from saying these ridiculous platitudes. It was an agreement to stay at a distance.
Well, let's get to the point.
But this distance can't quite be maintained. It always deploys cracks. There was this laughter, for example. Yes, to be precise, that's where it started. With those indescribable smiles. They just kept laughing without any apparent cause.
Who kept laughing?
The people it starts happening to.
Lunacy!
Lunacy, yes. They laugh in public and still somehow behind closed doors. Or smile at passerby, just for the sake of it, insinuating like conspirators who don't want the others to know that the rules of the game are about to become obsolete. Their smiles sit there like a question mark, and a ruthless one at that.
Even so, there's no harm done in that.
On the contrary, like a cigarette butt smoldering on a carpet, they start burning a hole in the earth's crust with their ceaseless smiling.
Get to the point, sir.
They got up around midnight. Of course, that's an hour no one but bank robbers, barmaids, and night watchmen get up. They went to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Right. To the bridge. Why?
No reason. They went and stood there, leaning against the girders for a moment of silence before they started talking again.
Out in the open air.
If you come to Chinatown with me, I'll buy you a blouse with a dragon on it.
That way I'll be protected.
And if you come to the village, I'll steal you a fire escape ladder so you can save yourself from the flames, because I want to love you for a long time to come.
That way I'll be saved.
If you come along to Harlem, I'll buy you some dark skins and you can go incognito. Because I alone want to love you for a long time to come.
How long?
Play along, Jennifer. Don't ask me how long. You're supposed to say, that way I'll be sheltered.
That way I'll be sheltered.
And if you accompany me down along the Bowery, I'll give you the long lifelines on beggars' hands because I want you to love me till you're old and frail.
A letter from the squirrel. Finally, another letter from the squirrel.
What's it say?
Don't tell anyone. Tonight, Jennifer will be waiting for you on Broadway under the Pepsi-Cola waterfall beside the big Lucky Strike smoke ring.
I won't tell anyone.
Will you come?
Come. Because I'm coming already.
In the courtroom.
So they were playing around now. They played the game called Love. They played it everywhere. In the dark street corners. Stupid line. And dim-lit bars on Broadway. Under the flickering spotlights beaming in front of palaces on the silver screen on 42nd Street. In a torrent of artificial sunlight and comets. But the same thing happened to them when they played the game as when they laughed. They broke every rule in the book.
Around 5 o'clock in the morning, they came back to the hotel.
Weary and worn from intoxication and oblivion, they walked side by side, staring into space ahead of them, further removed from one another than they'd been in their game playing, their laughter or their sleep. Once upstairs, the dumb embraces, numb obligations, performed without protest, all within bounds, but not for much longer. Not for much longer.
This rummaging around in these subversive activities is completely pointless. It's not bringing any motive to light. The chain of events doesn't prove anything. And now, finally, I want to know your motive. Indignation? No. Envy?
Give me some time. I'm acting on good faith.
As a good god should.
I have acted on good faith for a long time, even then. You won't believe me, but I gave them every chance in the world. On the third day, the hotel registration clerk still didn't have another room for them. That afternoon, they drove around Central Park in a horse and buggy and ended up in the middle of a parade. The drum majorettes danced gingerly along in front of them, flinging their legs up in the air, indestructibly young and firm, asphalt ballerinas, spinning their cartwheels for their victims and victors of war. Streamers festooned the treetops, the roofs of cars and people's heads. Children exulted and the squirrels lorded over what remained of the lawns, marking their territory with discarded nutshells. When the vendors' booths and vending machines came together beside the water lilies in the pond, there were a couple of boards set up with a curtain draped over them, and for 5 cents anyone could come in and take in a theater performance, like none other in the world. The speakers pulling the strings on the puppets were Billy and Frankie, the two squirrels. Because my horse, bloodthirsty captains loved nothing more than spending their free time parading the gruesome spectacles before the people's eyes in the beautiful words of poets. As soon as a dozen spectators had gathered, the curtain was closed behind them. 2 other squirrels dug their claws into the cloth and clung to the wood like living hooks. Inside, it was dark. Only the floor of the little stage glowed with a phosphorescent veneer, a stage set for corpses. The 2 protagonists made the program announcements and give directions from backstage.
In the theater.
For only 5 cents, folks. 5 of the world's greatest love stories.
Orpheus and Eurydice.
Tristan and Isolde.
Romeo and Juliet.
Abelard and Heloise.
Francesca and Paola.
Go to hell with them. Go to hell.
Shut up! And now, more about the first piece. The story of how Eurydice turned to stone, and her tragic end in the realm of the dead. Orpheus, the singer, torn to pieces by crazed wenches, and in the end, nature's lyrical lament.
Dead. Torn. Done.
Tristan and Isolde, a piece about a long-haired queen and her hero, a potent love potion, a black sail at the right time, and a long, painful death.
To hell with them.
That doesn't come until later, you fool. And immediately following the sweet death of handsome Romeo and his Juliet in Verona's darkness, with tombs, ancient walls, a moon, and a lot of animosity as set pieces.
Bravo. Don't forget to include the daggers.
Take a jaunt into medieval France Abelard and Heloise.
Oh, Billy, I just can't take these two seriously. What a fantastic love, and how Heloise will pine. Oh, how embarrassing that's going to be. I've always gotten a little itchy when it comes to the part where that proud Titiana embraces the asshead. And now this, it's killing me. To hell with them.
Hell doesn't come till the end.
I know, Paolo and Francesca. I just find it so amusing.
Ladies and gentlemen, two lovers, again far away in Italy. A storybook and its seduction provides the background in the inferno, the future prospect.
Didn't I say? To hell with them.
Don't worry, you'll see. Smell and sample enough blood and gore, screaming oaths.
And the fires of hell.
And you'll stare straight into purgatory. That's our modest program for today. A preview of tomorrow's show, the awful love and death of several other couples, as handed down through chronicles, well-known melodramas, and newspaper reports from all over the world, from the Indian death valleys, the bestial Rhineland, and putrid Venice, all of which provide excellent backdrops for the development of noble sentiments.
And now, your attention please. All eyes and ears on the action.
Out in the open air.
What an effort they put into the performance in the play. And they're so much fun. Didn't you enjoy it?
Sure, but not a single squirrel passed us a letter, did it?
Not that I noticed. They're so sneaky about it. Let me look in my purse. There's a note here that says...
To hell with you.
Oh no, but it says, please go home.
In the courtroom.
And they returned again and again to that room. Oh, but what those walls must have seen. It's a wonder they held out.
That's one thing walls are good for. To house a natural and healthy emotion.
You mean to say let it come into its own? But that's neither natural nor healthy. They lay there, entwined in their embrace, and were already thinking ahead to the next one. They succumbed to a desire that could never have been conceived as such by the Creator, with an attitude of solemnity, more solemn than any earnest in the world, making a vow to the present moment and nothing else with each successive glance, every gasp, and every gasp into this most untenable matter in the world, this flesh tasting of bitter tragedy, sentenced for life to lie captive in its throes.
In a room on the 7th floor.
Hey, you listening?
Yes?
Anytime now. I know I'll get to the point of promising to write your letters after I go home, but you shouldn't believe me. Would you like to know what I would have written?
Yes.
My darling, I've thought everything over carefully. You've become so important, so precious to me. Please write me, immediately, preferably in care of general delivery, because, well, I'll explain that later. And by return mail, if these days were for you two, my embrace spanned every inch of distance between us, my little love. We simply must meet again. We'll find a way. We will. We should. We must defy every inch of distance. Write me.
You mean you'll really write to me?
No, that was just a joke. I'm afraid I won't be in any mood for jokes after all this.
I'm not sure I understand.
You'll see soon enough. I'm intoxicated with the thought of you, my soulmate, and mad with desire for you. You are like wine in my blood, and emerge from my dreams in drunkenness to ruin me.
What's that supposed to mean?
They're just words.
To express your feelings?
I stripped myself of my feelings and threw them in a heap with the clothes.
Is that your inner self speaking to me?
My inner self? I've searched and researched diligently for many years, but I've yet to meet anyone inside myself.
Phone. Should I answer it?
Go ahead.
Hello. Yes, I got it. Thanks, that's fine. There's a place reserved for you on the ship. You're free to go.
Think about it while there's still time to give God a chance and brighten up your life. Put a bee in your bonnet and reinforce steel. Do good and do it fast. Hurricane Diana, 100 miles an hour, up and coming at you like never before. Property damage, human life, turn it in, turn it out, and turn it off. You can't take it with you. Just go on and keep going.
Think
about it when the light turns green.
In a room on the 7th floor.
I'm done. My suitcase is packed. It's so light. Could just as well be filled with feathers. Light as a flight bag. What do I have to say to you now? Farewell?
Don't say anything, Jennifer. If you can, say it was easy. It was beautiful. It'll be easy.
It was beautiful.
I'd rather not say anything.
You want to go first, or should I? You can check to see that I haven't left a handkerchief behind. I always leave one lying somewhere. A handkerchief for waving goodbye with a dab of perfume, but not a drop of tears.
Let's go together.
No.
Just as far as the street.
Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore anyways. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's about it.
They open the door, walk down the hall into the elevator, then take the elevator down.
Ground floor?
Ground floor.
It'll be easy. It'll be easy.
I have to pay the bill.
Nope. I'm going ahead. I'm going. I'm gone.
Have no fear of Mondays and Tuesdays, Judgment Day for heroines and bats. You can't take it with you. Hands off your hearts and your seals. Feel for yourself, see for yourself, listen and follow along. The closer you are to him, the closer you are to nothing. Think on it, build on it, count on it. Think about it while there's still time. On the street.
Jennifer! Jennifer! Jennifer!
Veterans Convention, Elks Club Convention, Fife and Drum Corps Convention.
Oh, she must have come by here with a suitcase, in pink and white, shoulder-length curly hair, and that look. How do you like that?
Seen, I ain't seen nothing. Pink and white, they're all like that. It happened to me once. You never see him again. But ask that cop guy there, yeah, the one with the helmet on his head and the club in his hand.
Oh, she can't have gotten far. Looks just about any girl, and she is, well, she's my one and only.
Are you a relative?
I took off running as soon as I noticed things had changed, but she had 100-yard head start.
What's a little head start? You're a very nice man, but I've got to help the kids across the street. Then we can talk. Isn't that right, kids?
Yes, take us across.
Take us across, carry us.
Carry us.
Come on, old man. Come on, old uncle. Come on.
Jennifer! Jennifer! Jennifer!
You?
Give me your suitcase.
Jan.
Are you out of your mind? You're standing here blowing the palms of my hands and then brushing the hair out of your eyes, and we're going back.
Really?
How could you have left in the first place? I'll never forgive you for it.
Jan.
I should beat you up. I should beat you up in front of all these people. I'm going to beat you up.
Yeah, right?
Would you leave again if I sent you away?
No.
Have you at least figured out now where the hell you belong, even though you've obviously lost your mind?
I just don't know where else we would go. But if you knew the place, I'd know it too.
I know the place. Now, tell me that's not a hint.
Yes.
When I asked for the bill, I heard that a room upstairs was vacated, street side on the 13th floor. Of course, I had to stop and think, and I just had to run after you and tell you. What do you say?
Yes, oh yes.
Just because you wished for it and because I haven't yet granted you one single wish, not even a gift.
Kiss me. I don't care if it's right out here on the street. Even in front of this window filled with oranges and brown pineapples. Even right in front of the ambulance's Red Cross and the Arabian camel the circus man is parading through. Even in front of the peach pits and the pits of green, unripened dates flying at you when throw them away.
And you're not afraid of losing face here on the street?
No, and I know why too.
Do tell.
Because everyone can see that I'm just about completely lost, and they sense that I have no pride and would die of degradation. That I'd just let you lynch me or throw me on a trash heap, like a piece of junk, after each of the successive games you invent.
You must have been very proud once. and I'm very proud of you now. Jennifer?
It's not. I'm just a little dizzy. Either because you made love to me or because you're about to make love to me again. Hold me tight.
Just don't say anything else. We're almost there. I'll tuck you in between the clean sheets and get you something to drink. Ice? Ice for your forehead and a cigarette. Not another word.
I think I just about passed out. Forgive me. I didn't know you could just up and faint like that.
In the courtroom.
Care for some refreshments? Cigarette, I guess.
Just a sip of water.
The 13th floor is, of course, better than the 7th, and they're both much better than being on the ground floor. Especially here.
Everywhere. The air is thinner up there. The sound waves just roll off the walls. It's like everything regresses, floating slowly and visibly down to some driftwood, waiting on a riverbed below. Old friends, old baggage. Helpless ferrymen with short-sighted aims. A micro-edition of the daily routine is amusing. Seen from some distance, common sense shrinks and soon resembles but a grain of maddening stupidity.
So the two of them completely lost it. I mean, they're common sense.
Is that you talking like that? What makes you say that?
Intuition.
Oh, yeah? There is something in the air in the heights where eagles don't nest. Freedom. A shapeless mass of evil that takes possession of the lover's phalanx and defends it blindly, rife with delusion. That's why, for as long as I can remember, I've been on the heels of that gypsy woman who doesn't have a home and isn't at home anywhere in the world and prefers these eagles' nests. The one stooping around down there who suddenly leaps up off the asphalt so her feet doesn't leave any prints behind. Love, you could say, is that certain someone we can never summon or sum up. One that will never testify. Nowhere to be found, not even where she was just a moment ago, and yet I could swear she was she who still loved those two enough yesterday to let the cactus burst into purple and the poplar trees just into the darkness, has already found two others to love today, enough to make mimosas quiver. That her conscience isn't bothered by it, but she laces her black bodice tightly, twirls her red skirt, and puts yet another somehow in the dark with her immortal eyes, shadowed in sorrow.
I don't believe it. No, she certainly can't be summoned, but what can be summed up, the facts, perhaps. How's the view on the 13th floor?
The room is brighter than the light of day. When you return from getting groceries, you fry up some fish with pale, glassy eyes in the kitchenette, then wash a pair of stockings and a pair of socks in the bathroom, hanging them on the steel bar that could have been used to do gymnastics, if there were nothing better to do. You already start to call it home, lean out of the window sometimes, pluck stalks of straw from an advertisement for a broom, and stick them on the wall to make the room look much more like a nest. You lock the door twice, then get up a third time to see if it really is locked. You go out less and less. You run out of cigarettes, and one of you wants to go out and get some, but you go together after all.
Letters from a squirrel?
Tons of them. The mail's piling up, and Billy and Frankie dance up and down the hallway and peeped through the keyhole.
In the hotel hallway. How glad I am that no one knows.
What I don't know can't hurt me, so...
A poet, and you don't even know it, idiot! What do you have in mind for the girl?
To hell with her!
And for him?
He's a clever one, but it's hidden pretty bad. Smart-ass, scandalmonger, all the world is crass.
Just tell me what it's going to be.
Spanish torture.
Spanish?
You'll die laughing. Thumb screws are nothing compared to this. Burning slats from their nails, or a colonial officer's prank, and a flogging would be a pleasure compared to this. Here, I'll whisper it in your ear. Aha!
Is it a deal?
Deal. If our stringent master will permit it.
In the courtroom.
We aren't living in the Middle Ages, you know.
No. This is the dawn of the modern age. Or the apocalypse, as you like.
It's unbearable, this heat. It's already getting dark, I suppose.
I'm assuming that you, like most people these days, are in favor of mass murder as opposed to individual executions. But I had to develop a rather old-fashioned procedure to accommodate those individuals who have chosen to abstain. So I don't expect that they'll show me any mercy.
Mercy from whom? And to what end?
There's one thing I have to clarify. I only used and manipulated my henchmen's deviant imaginations. My sobriety couldn't stand them. Such excesses are only found among creatures of the basest nature. I am a stranger to the rampant will to kill.
Are you contesting it?
Justice has only been served.
Are you contesting? Why beg for mercy, then?
Okay, then. No mercy.
Good advice at half the price. Dirt cheaper, do or die. No mercy for the nightingales. Think about it, no matter what happens. Forward march, enlisted men to the front. Jackals and wolves to the back. Peace can't stand alone. No mercy till the end of time. Drastic measures, more drastic. Down with all the walls. You can't take it with you. Stop. See the light under the light. Stop.
In a room on the 30th floor.
Save me!
Is that what's become of you? Have you really turned into this? This is what happened to a rosy pink girl with her diaries, her goodnight kisses, and necking with Truman in the car, carrying notebooks scribbled full under her arms. Very nice, and how do you like it, sir? Well, what are all those fire escapes doing on the buildings? They're there so you can save yourself from burning. And why do you think all the roofs have fire extinguishers? So you can put out a fire and save yourself.
Save me! From you and from me. See to it that we stop battling each other and that I finally be more quiet towards you.
You crying? Come on, do it, cry.
Do you think we're crazy?
Maybe.
Do you despise me?
Just a little. Just enough that you never cease to amaze me, but I never cease to amaze myself either.
Are you leaving today?
No.
But I know that that's just postponing the inevitable, putting it off one more time. What's the point?
Don't ask, because it might not be over and done yet. What happened to your curiosity? You wanted to ask me completely different questions and give me answers to questions you thought I would ask.
Yeah. Let's finally just lie here in peace and talk. Do tell.
Something about my childhood? Stories from the country, the city, parents, aunts, uncles? About my school days? Worn out, weary teachers, chalk fights, examinations passed. I was born, and it wasn't long after that before it was already too late.
You're right. So maybe I am being silly, but I just feel like I have to know everything.
Well, I could also tell you which ideas and philosophies I've tried on for size, how much money I make right now for professional ineptitude, and what prospects are in sight. Or I could describe my country, its mountains, apple trees, the latest scoop on the national borders. Here, though, you just say Europe. The Europeans. How could I be so petty and go on about our apple trees and leave out the pines and beaches? Maybe worth mentioning, too. Besides that, it's also very far away and nothing I ascribe any attachment to anymore anyway.
Yes, but...
Anything else?
Lovers you've had in the past. And what do I mean to you now?
Have I intimidated you to the point that you're just asking that question now? The inevitable question of questions. I'm prepared, though, but why bother with it? If I were to sit here and tell you about a few women, or lots of them, about disappointments, isn't that what they're called, or unforgettable experiences? I'm well versed in the script, and I've put together several versions of my past. Whatever occurred to me in the moment, a tragic one, a comic one with a central thread woven in, and another that's just considered a statistic. But wouldn't it be ideal if you were to release me from all of them?
Yes, it's just that when you mentioned the letter you would never write me, you said, write me in care of general delivery because, well, I'll explain that later.
I reckon I just wanted to give myself away, because now there really is someone waiting for me over there. There's always someone waiting, or it never would have started in the first place. We're just passing around, one relationship dissolves into another. We set up camp, one bed before after the next.
What are you going to say when you get there?
Nothing.
As though nothing had happened?
I didn't say that. I didn't even say I'm going back there. One way or the other, though, there's nothing to say.
Oh, because it's easier that way. Oh, it's all so easy. Easy.
Oh, just go on and cry, but don't forget that if you said it too, you don't tell anyone.
Yes, because that was what's in the letters that came from the squirrels.
Well, they ought to know why they write that too.
And if they don't, at this rate, I'll never figure out who you really are.
What good is it for you to know about all my weaknesses and the few good deeds I happen to have done along the way? I don't want to know anything about you. I want to detach you from your stories and affairs, the way you walk, move, your gaze, when you follow me, when you succumb and can utter not another word. That's when you prove to me your identity more than any document, any certificate that I'd ever identify you. It's not your indignity that I'm worried about, but I'm sure we could try finding some common ground if it means so much to you.
Don't start like that. Not like that.
What do you know of interferences and automation and the moods of quanta and intersubjective
Don't.
verification, of nuclear transformations, psychopathology, Paleolithic
Please
period?
stop.
So not something we're going to talk about?
No.
Maybe something else?
Whatever you want. I'll try to give it my best.
Why try?
To get closer to you.
Would you even give me your opinion?
On what?
That's what I'm asking you.
Does it mean that much to you?
No, I just want to see, while we're on the subject, what's left of you when you're stripped of your opinions, but willing to give it your best shot, and so on and so forth.
Don't push me away.
There are other means of communicating, you know. We go to the theater, and in intermission, engage in heavy intellectual discourse on the fabulous staging of special effects with fire.
What play are you talking about?
One that I'd never attend with you. And what about the music? In our spare time, we can listen to some important piano concerto with a reputation for its brilliant phrasing and seductively intelligent organic structure.
Do you mean serious music?
If that doesn't work, we'll visit the art galleries and strain our eyes to appreciate the colors, valency, and value. And even if that doesn't work, you'll learn to cook and entertain me with hot cakes, sauces, and desserts. Evenings we can escape to the movies. We'll sit together staring at the screen and relax. Something you can count on. Sure to come up with that'll keep us together. Children, for example. Sorrows, woes, stormy weather. You can just count on it.
I'm all for it.
Me too.
You're cute when you're mad.
I'm not mad right now. I just want to break free from all the years and all the thoughts of the years, and I want to tear down my own internal structure, dismantle the me that I am, and be the other me that I never could be.
You're gorgeous, and you already are who you never were.
I'll tell you one more thing. That can possibly ever happen between us. You be mine, I'll be yours. Trust for trust. Let's think about the future. Be good comrades, maintain friendship, protect one another, stick together, to console and comfort. You are the first person who was no consolation to me. I was comfortable handling both friends and foes, even when it paralyzed me and exhausted my patience. That was all bearable, but you are not.
You're gorgeous and I adore you. I'll kiss your shoulder and won't feel a thing when I do. Is that what you call disconsolate?
Yes, but it's just the first strike. The first blow to a chain that doesn't want to break. But listen, there's the first stroke, and in the end, if you happen to burst open without a sound, you won't think of that thing earlier. But by the way, even the law of the world won't be able to keep us in check.
In the office of the good God. Those two won't last much longer. They're already rolling their eyes, staring off into space, bitching about each other.
Okay, cards on the table. What's the newest note say? What's the boss say?
Wait it out. Quit scratching up the gun case. He'll give you more than a slap on the paw for that.
But I'm just itching to get on with it.
Should we send them another letter?
Yes, but let's make it one that quickens the pulse and sets the heart to thumping. To hell with them.
What should we write?
Don't tell anyone.
Of course.
I could just tear my fur out. I can't think of a thing.
Well, then tear it into it.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Still nothing?
I got it.
This could be good.
They have to go higher up.
Are you nuts? How about a knock on the noggin?
Keep your nuts to yourself. We have to free up a room on the top floor. Give me the card file. Let's see who's lounging around up there right now.
How high up? 57th floor? That would be the top.
Give it here, Mr. and Mrs. Mister. We'll just take a shot at it.
What you mean?
He gotta come out sometime. We'll just scurry over there, and I'll take a flying leap at his chest. He'll grab his bags and run like the Dickens.
He moves out, and the others move in, and then?
Then they're on cloud 9 for a while, rationing the stifling air. The ground sinks beneath their feet, and they just blow everything off. Just blow off the whole damn heavenly earth.
Heavenly. That'll quicken the pace here.
How glad I am.
Glad I am that no one knew. Perhaps my name is Billy.
Perhaps my name is Frankie.
Filled with sugar and with spice.
Billy be nimble, Billy be quick.
In the courtroom.
And indeed, a man on the top floor did check out for some reason or another.
the hotel registration clerk remembered getting a tip from the two of them and moved them up there. There was a strange view in the room at the top. A world abandoned in flight lay below. You could see the moon with one eye and still be blinded by the sun in the other. The ocean swelled visibly in the distance and pulled ships and smoke down to see the opposite end of the earth.
Quite a maneuver that must have been. Did you think you could be less conspicuous up there?
No, just quicker. I just gave a little push to some things that couldn't be stopped anyway. I felt sorry for them, because they were almost out of money. I wanted to save them from those disconcerting worries. You know how expensive rooms at the top are.
So you even felt sorry for them? Yes, I understand. So we were about to get to the last night?
A night that went before day like the final judgment. A night in hell. In uncontrollable heat. Feverish heat. The fan was powerless against it.
Oh, like it is today.
The ice melted in your glass before you could even get it to your lips.
The two of them had no second thoughts?
They had the letter and took it at its word.
In a room on the 57th floor.
Will you look at that? Another clue, another sign. Good little dear little squirrels.
A night move. It's like moving in on night itself.
I'm going to put my hairbrush next to yours, arrange your books, hang up your jacket next to my skirts. I want to put everything in its place as though were there to remain there forever. What a moment! And I intend to etch it on my memory forever. Silent night and dampened embers, the glistening island below us, and the light will burn here to add to the glow, in no one's honor.
Come, drop what you're doing. Let go of it forever. I have the feeling I'll never know better what my latitudinal and longitudinal position is. And I'll never know better what it all boils down to than I do here in this room, which could be any room, but is precisely here, where there's no ground beneath your feet, that you sense it best. This is space itself, and you harbor me here, a foreigner.
Because he comes from afar and will have to leave again, I'll turn down the sheets and place a pitcher of water beside his bed.
But he'll still be groping in the dark and can't find his way. He provokes estrangement with his harsh foreign accent and is still incapable of eliciting anyone's trust. I'd like to have a map to explain myself to you. All my deserts outlined in the color of sand, and the tundras in white, and one as yet untouched territory. But there's also a new sign in the legend, green, indicating that Arctic Ocean of my heart has begun melting.
Finally.
And I'd like to have a book that would tell me what's going on inside you, your climate, your flora, your fauna, the agents of your illness, and the silent, stubborn enemies in your blood. I'd like those minuscule life forms I pick up from you in my kisses. I'd like to see you now, just once more, your body illuminated by night, warm and waiting, wanting to celebrate the feast. And I can see it already, transparent fruits and jewels, carnelians and rubies, phosphorescent minerals, your bloodstream transformed into an enchanted fairy. Watch, take a look. Every layer of you laid bare, the blankets of your tender flesh, layers of silky white skin covering your joints, relaxed muscles, bones burnished to a polished shine in the glaze on the naked hollow of your hips. The blazing light in your breast and the emboldened zest in those ribs. I want to see it all, watch it all.
If there were only more I could do for you, open myself up, turn myself in to become your property, make every fiber, every inch of hide and hair yours, as it should be.
To look and to listen, to press my ears against your body because there's never any silence inside of you. And there's this wave of air rising and falling in your lungs, the sound of a piston plunging in the chamber of your heart, a frightened sound when you swallow a ghostly crackling in your limbs.
Hear me out, because I can't harbor any secrets from you.
But I will never uncover them all, will I? Oh, I'll be plagued by the jealousy and won't be released from its throes until I have discovered every clandestine color and secret passageway through. The cells, chambers, the salt spattered on the tissue, filled with masks, lanterns, mosaic inlays, depicting sunken myths, spongy tissue and marrow, the whole profligate structure of you who are that will someday fade away unnoticed.
Am I fading away already? And if I am, isn't it because of you?
Then there's so little time in the world, because even after everything's been discovered and formulated into equations, I still won't have grasped the glaze of your supple eyes and the blonde step of hair covering your skin. After all, it's been said, done, and destroyed again. I'll still be seduced by the labyrinth of your looks and the sobs heaving from your throat. will still fill me with consternation like nothing else can.
So little time. Much too little time.
And that's why I want to embrace your bones, even after you're just a skeleton, and hear the sound of this chain clatter against your bones on Judgment Day in Never Never Land. And I'd like to take your desiccated heart and the handful of dust you are yet, to become into me, my decaying mouth, and choke on it, and let my own void reign supreme over nothingness you will have become. I'd like to be with you until the end of time, and get to the bottom of this abyss I've fallen into with you. I want to put an end to you, an end. And I'd like to end every minute up until the very end with a revolt against the end of love.
My end. Put an end to it.
There's a certain baseness about it all, from the beginning, and no amount of blasphemy will match its measure. Oh, but what must we admit in the face of love? This inflammatory script we watch set itself asunder as soon as we approach. Who hollered and said that God is dead, or has hurtled headlong into the halls of echoing thunder, or that he doesn't exist? Isn't that like asking for too little too late from what little time we already have, or tearing out the hearts for nothing and attempting to fill the void with this pathetic complaint, and yet you would die for this? Oh no, make love to me so I don't have to sleep, and stop loving you. Love me, that we might make some sense of it. After all, why shouldn't I hold on to you, torment you in despair over everything? Why should I let anyone tell me how long and how many times I am to hold you, when I want it all the time and I want to hold on to you forever? I don't want to leave you now, deceived in a world of dreams and myself betrayed by the world of sleep. I want what has never been, a world without end. And what will remain is a bed, battered by icebergs at one end and fueled by flames set by someone else beneath its frame, and flanked on either side, not by angels, but by the umbellate leaves of tropical plants, the parrot's parody, and the perched platings from the land of famine. Don't fall asleep, please.
I'll never sleep again. I'll never let go of the thought of you.
Come then. I'm here with you, and opposed to everything else. The clock just started ticking in the opposite direction.
In the courtroom.
What are they talking about?
About another state. About overstepping boundaries. About something you and I have never, ever even considered.
Matter of fact, we've dealt with every case imaginable here.
You only have to deal with me, not with that.
How presumptuous. Do you mean to claim that the story of Ellen Hay and this Bamfield guys and all the others that you...
Who, me? What do you mean, you?
The others who were killed took a similar course of action?
I wouldn't say that. Each of the stories took place in a different tongue. Each took a different path to speechlessness. Even the time each of them was steeped in was different. But anyone who hasn't studied the cases carefully may well see similarities between them. Much in the same way there are similarities between all two-leggeds. But they were all inclined toward losing the natural bonds in order to free themselves from any sense of security in the world. Isn't it said that that murder victims are sometimes as guilty as the murderers?
Don't try to confuse the issue by turning the tables and twisting words here.
I'm not attempting any such thing. I'd just like to inform you of the fact that the two of them didn't have faith in anything anymore, and that I acted in good faith. You want a profession of faith? I believe in an order that is valid for everyone and for all time, in order to live by day. I believe in a great covenant and the authority of this arrangement, where every emotion and thought has its place, and I believe all its adversaries will die. I believe that love is the dark side of life, more corrupt than any crime or heresy. I believe that wherever love erupts, a whirlwind of chaos, like the world before the first day of creation, ensues. I believe that love is innocent and leads to demise, that it can only continue in complicity and incrimination before each successive appellate court. I believe that lovers are and always have been justified in taking flight and being blown to bits. Perhaps they've all been transferred to a place amid the constellations. Weren't you the one who said he didn't bury her? Didn't you say that, sir?
Yes.
I'm just repeating it. didn't bury her. You understand. Transferred to a place amid the constellations.
You got a sick imagination. Anyone can name for you, from his own experience, a series of happy couples. A childhood friend who later ended up with a doctor. The neighbors living in the country who already have 5 children. The 2 students who demonstrate such serious zest for life and for each other.
Granted, there are innumerable examples. But who would concern himself with people who, after a brief affair with freedom, nonetheless reveal their own basic instinct, then, and get a grip on that little ember that glowed in the beginning, tame it, and concoct from it a cure-all for loneliness, a social and economic enterprise that secures for them an acceptable status in society. Everything is in balance and in order.
There is no other possible way.
Because I have eradicated it, wiped it out. I did it so there would be peace and security. And so you can sit here in peace, inspecting your fingernails and the way of all things we prefer to take.
There aren't 2 judges, just as there are not 2 orders.
Then you must be in league with me. I just haven't figured that out yet. Then you perhaps never intended to put me out of business, but rather to start talking about things that are better left unsaid. Then the 2 orders would be one.
One constellation doesn't make a whole heaven. Turn and steer clear of bad advice. Free trial, power in reserve. Rockets, red glare, bombs burst in air. Streams fed by tears move faster. Solve, dissolve yourself, dissolve the world's solution. The sound of the gongs will strike 0 hour. Rise and fall, blow by blow. Think about it, you can't take it. Make it short and sweet. Grin and bear it. Stop.
In a room on the 57th floor.
Do you think you can take this on? Can you bear it? Even though it's called a goodbye and that isn't a word we've used anymore.
I'm just surprised that you're still here and that I have to look at you while these last few seconds draw near. It won't be long before I'm reduced to nothing. If only it would end, put me out of my misery, and I wouldn't be me anymore. Can I tell you everything?
Yes, say it all.
Don't touch me. Don't come too close to me. I'd turn to cinder.
How far away do you want me to go?
Just as far as the door, but don't put your hand on the door handle. Stop talking to me, and don't give me one last embrace.
What about me?
Turn the handle now and go. Don't turn around. Don't turn your back to me, even though I'm closing my eyes and won't be able to see your face.
But I can't.
Don't hurt me. No more stalling.
I can't ever leave again.
No, don't touch me.
Never again. Look at me. Never again.
Oh, how can it be true? Never again.
What are you doing? Don't do that.
What? Throw myself on my knees and kiss your feet? I'd do it forever, and always walk 3 steps behind you, wherever you roam. Never drink before you have drunk. Eat only after you've eaten. Stay awake and keep watch while you sleep.
Get up now, dear. I'm going to open the window and let in a breath of heaven. You're going to wait here without crying while I run out, just to return the ticket so the ship can sail away forever. I'll take the fire engine red taxi. The fastest one, after all. The time has come. And all I know is that I want to live and die here with you, to speak with you in a new tongue that I can't carry on with my career anymore, or conduct any sort of business. I can't do anything useful, and will break with everything. I want to dissolve myself from everyone else. And should I never again my appetite for my life, it will be because I am a slave to you and the sound of your voice. And just because it's an ancient custom, I'll tell you, I love you, in a new tongue, and I will call you my soul. A word I've never before heard and just discovered now that is not an insult to you.
Oh, don't tell anyone.
My soul, I'm insane with love for you. That's all there is to it. It begins and ends there. The Alpha and the Omega.
An ancient custom. Once you declare your love for me, I must confess mine for you. My soul.
Immortal or not, there's no way to say I do to that.
In the courtroom.
Yes, they had to be blown away without a trace, because no one and nothing could get too close to them. They are like those rare elements that are found here and there, those incredible matters. With the radioactive or incendiary power to blow the world apart and call everyone into question. The memory that remains contaminates the places they have touched. This trial will be without precedent. If I am found guilty, then to the uncertainty of all, because whoever here is in love will have to die. Otherwise, it's as if they never existed. They must be harassed to death. They must be harassed to death, or they won't live. You might contradict my argument with, this feeling will pass. It'll blow over. But there is no feeling there, just demise. And that's the whole point. It doesn't blow over. And the main thing is to avoid this. Just conform. Answer under oath. Have it your way. Answer me.
I do.
Once you say I do, there's no turning back. I personally would go back and do it again.
In a room on the 57th floor.
Come in.
Yeah, are you alone?
Yes, what can I do for you?
I have a package to deliver. It's addressed to you.
I don't know anything about it.
It's supposed to be a surprise for you.
A present? Huh.
Can I put it down here? You're not even curious. You're going to wait until you're not alone anymore.
Certainly. I'm not curious. I can wait now. Wait.
He'll be right back.
Yeah, soon. He's just, stepped out for a while. Hurry, even though there's no rush anymore. Today's a day full of surprises. You see, sir, today's a very special day. Thanks! That's fine, thank you. Aren't you going to leave?
You're thanking me?
Yes, but I have to be alone now. You understand? Because tonight, there's a ship setting sail that can take him from me. It's like the Joker. And because that's enough to make me run naked through the streets jumping for joy. Please go, because I can't talk to anyone about this. I'm in love. And beside myself, I'm ablaze with love from the inside out, and I'm burning time into love, just waiting for him to get back, here now that he's away. I've collected my thoughts and gathered reserves to last a lifetime, and I love him. Would you finally please leave? Don't look at me like that. Don't breathe the air in here. I need it. I'm in love. Get out of here immediately. I'm in love.
No letter from the squirrel?
Great God.
A letter from the squirrel. What it says is, don't tell anyone.
Don't say that. Not you. No one.
No one knows.
No one.
In a bar on the 46th Street.
Good afternoon.
Hey, what can I get you?
I don't know, what?
Double whiskey brew with ice in your condition.
Yeah, just hurry it up. What time is it anyway? My watch is so slow. You'd think it would be about to stop. Since I haven't wound it up in a couple days.
It's a damned hot one today. Can't be much before the hour. I can turn on the radio. That way you'll know better.
How nice of you.
The baseball game's already over. Commercials, of course.
Go on.
Keep going
on.
I have to go.
You can't go any further on 46th Street. Street's all torn up. I'm losing business. You gotta go around the whole block.
So that's why this place is so empty.
Think about it while there's still time.
Another double, you know? For once I'd like... I'm not holding you up, am I?
Of course not. I know how it is. Just don't know anyone.
No, that's not it, but a little casual conversation can't hurt.
Hey, you're a nice guy.
Can I see that paper, today's?
Sure. Here you go.
Just a quick look. I haven't read the paper for a couple days.
No mercy. Think about it.
Back home, I mean, over there's been a change in government. I had no idea.
No mercy. No time for mercy.
Oh, the time! Could you please look for another station?
I can try.
Think about it. You can't take it.
Stop.
Stop at the light. Stop.
Hey, try.
In the hallway on the 57th floor.
Up and away in a beautiful bomb.
But what about him? He wasn't there. Didn't come back. Bastard.
I singed my fur. Almost went up with her. What are we going to report?
Successful explosion, but the calculations were off. One dead body too few, and the boss is waiting downstairs in the lobby. Wants to hear a story.
I don't dare face him. With this singed fur?
Listen, they're coming already. Gawkers will have to scale down the outside wall. Quick! Hop over here to the other side of the room and out the window. Out of here!
Yuck, look at this mess. Black as hell, charred, still smoking. How glad I am.
In the courtroom.
She died by herself.
Yes.
Why? Because once the question had been made, he felt the desire to be alone, to sit quietly for a half an hour and think, like he used to think to speak, like he used to speak in places that had nothing to do with him and to people that didn't concern him. He'd fallen back into his old pattern, and Order stretched her arms toward him for just a moment. He was normal, healthy, and upstanding, like a man having a quiet drink before dinner after having shaken his lover's whispered pillow talk from his ears and her seductive scent from his nostrils. A man whose eyes came to life at the sight of newsprint black and who must dirty his hands at the bar.
He was saved. He's settled back down to earth. By now he's long since returned and will live a long life of bad moods and moderate views.
And will perhaps never forget. Yes.
Do you really think so?
Yes.
Are we done now?
You can go. Down this long hallway leading to the Paternoster lift. You'll come to a side exit. No one will try to stop you.
And the charges?
Held in reserve.
And the verdict? Your ruling I'll never know? What kind of flash is flooding your eyes, Your Honor? What reservations did you have during the questioning? What reservations frame your answer now? Silence. To the very end?
Silence.
Okay, well, if anyone was listening, thanks for listening. Also, thanks to all my friends who did it with me and Quinn, because none of them really knew what they were setting up for. I just kind of told them to come at this time, and they were going to read things out loud, and they did. So thank you to Julian, Anastasia, Elan, and Jean, because, yeah. Do you guys have anything to say? Say it now.
Should we say who we all were?
Oh, yes, we can. Well, we all wore many, many hats throughout this play, but yeah, say who you were.
I was the judge and the homeless man and the bartender.
That was Jean.
I'm Elan, and I was the good god / the accused, and the bellboy, or the elevator boy.
Yeah. My name is Anastasia, and I was Jennifer, a young woman from the New World, and the court usher.
My name's Julian, and I was Billy, a squirrel, a police officer, and the narrator.
My name is Quinn, and I was Jan and the warden.
I'm Allie. I was Frankie, one of the squirrels, and then a whole host of other things, like a police officer and a woman and a gypsy woman.
Two children,
and
a newsboy.
A newsboy, and yeah.
And the voices.
And we
voices.
were all the faceless voices.
Stop.
Don't go when the light turns green. I know. But yeah. Well,
I want to get a letter from the squirrel.
I want to get a letter. I'm kind of jealous. I wanted
I'm
to be
also really
one of the arsenal squirrels.
Violent squirrels who hate love and
Pyrotechnic squirrels.
yeah, pyrotechnic squirrels who love bombing things, running up to penthouses and
Asexual squirrels.
oh my god. Yeah. Very true though.
Madonna.
Oh my god.
Each word. Squirrels. Yeah. W, but it sounds like H.
But like, why are we just spelling things out like phonetically? Like that makes sense.
Well, I'm dyslexic. I know I'm not dyslexic.
What was your favorite part?
Yeah. I really loved the lovers' spats. And a lot of it was like, it was like, hold me, don't touch me. Yeah. Jeez, lady, make up your mind.
Yeah, she was really fun.
Yeah. A woman of the modern age.
Yeah.
Her Joker monologue.
That was pretty crazy.
Well, shout out to 1966.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Thanks, Bachman.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Bachman.
Uda Hagen.
Thanks, Uda Hagen.
Stanislavski.
Who's Uda Hagen? Jennifer.
Thank you, Thomas Bernhardt, for saying that she was the only important woman writer
Yeah,
ever
that's it.
lived. I don't know. His words.
Very Thomas Bernhardt.
I know. What a king.
He's the only woman I respect.
Scary. The only one that mattered. Scary. So scary.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Thomas Bernhardt's one you love from afar and not from up close.
Yeah, you think they ever hung out in a room together?
Oh, they must have. They were both awesome.
Imagine how horrible that was for her.
Honestly, though, I feel like they were low-key homies.
Probably.
Yeah. You know, she and Paul Salon were lovers, and there's like the most beautiful love letters ever written between the two of them.
I didn't
like,
know that.
Insane. I don't know. Yeah. Well,
Shout out Paul
mostly
Salon.
his. Mostly his. But
Yeah.
of course he writes good love letters. That's Paul Salon.
Yeah. It's like that Kristeva marriage book. That's what this made me feel like.
Jane Gallup taking photos of herself.
Lauren just emailed us. Shout out to Lauren. Lauren, if you're still listening, thank you for tuning in, and we love you very
We love
much.
you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Lauren.
If you're listening, so that's so cute.
That's so. Yeah, if you actually listened, thanks.
Thanks.
Or for
Yeah,
more than 5
shout out.
minutes. Quinn and I are gonna keep doing these. We'll do more exciting ones with more explosions. It's not just explosions at the end, explosions throughout.
We got War of the Worlds
Yeah.
on deck next, finally.
Yeah, either next
We keep
week or the
saying
week
it, but
after.
this next week,
Yeah, we're
week
gonna
after,
do
I
it.
think, we'll actually do it.
But we'll figure it
Full
out.
sound effects and all everything.
Full sound effects.
Yeah, also thank you, Allie, for the sound effects.
Yes.
For
Mhm.
this.
Sound design.
Beautiful.
From
Mixing and
Allie.
mastering.
Oh,
Mixing and
God.
mastering.
I
Wrestling
forgot.
the paper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fans.
Normally we do this through our DJ controllers, except I forgot my DJ controller and Quinn's doesn't work with my laptop, so I was, doing it manually.
Laptop
So
DJ.
the fan, it was a 5-second clip of a fan, so I just kept pressing earlier in it to make it go. Yeah, I don't know. Well, do you guys have anything else to say?
No, thank God. I get peace.
I want some water.
It's on the
Can we get
third. It's
water?
on the 13th floor.
It's on the 13th. It's
It's
on
on
the
the
57th
57th
floor.
Yeah.
And it's a walk up.
That's what my apartment's gonna be when I move
Yeah,
to New
yeah.
York next year.
57th
beware
floor
of
Someone
walk
wants
up.
some trail mix.
Ooh. Oh, can we? Yeah. ASMR.
It was for the squirrels.
We're gonna eat
Yes,
nuts.
in honor of Billy and the other one, Frankie.
You look so hungry. You should have some nuts. What is that? Where
The
was that?
vending
Oh,
machine.
at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be good, no?
You just love performing.
I don't know. I don't want to hear you guys chewing. Maybe other
What's
people
wrong
do,
with
but I don't want to.
ASMR?
It's not ASMR.
It
it's
is
just you guys
ASMR.
chewing.
Nom 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 nom.
Does anyone do live ASMR on here ever?
Oh,
I'm
not
gonna
to my
start.
knowledge, but we can
Right
do
now.
it.
It's my new
I can do
radio
it
show.
right now.
Nom, 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 nom.
Tinkles, tinkles, tinkles.
Nom, 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 nom. This must be so annoying.
It's like Jimmy's driving home from work.
It's been like a grueling 8-hour
He
shift.
wanted to hear the Smiths on college radio.
And all I get is Oneohtrixpointnever played really quietly under chewing.
With tinkles, tinkles, tinkles. Yeah, this is good trail mix.
Me too.
Best part.
Yeah, it was only like $5. Not crazy for trail mix. It's not Mercury.
We're eating. What is the trail mix? Mountain trail mix.
You get nuts and music to last a lifetime for some pocket change.
Wow.
Exactly.
that part.
Well, nuts and music is what's going on in here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going nuts for music.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I feel like we should just play music for the rest of this show. I think we all need water.
Thanks again for tuning in.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
This is
from
the
Mercury
Mercury.
by Oneohtrixpointnever. Again, this is the Mercury Theater on Air, and you're listening to
Mercury Theater on
91.5
Air.
FM, WMFO, Medford, Tufts Freeform Radio. I'm going to read a PSA because that's how an educational radio station works. I'm reading the one that was open, which is walking is good exercise.
It is.
Although other physical activities can provide a more vigorous workout, walking is easy, requires no special equipment, and is good exercise for most adults. In urban areas, walking can be an excellent alternative to driving or even taking public transportation. For example, it's just over 2.5 miles from the Tufts campus in Medford to Harvard Square in Cambridge, a distance that can be walked in about 45 minutes by a healthy adult. Walking can get you fresh air, exercise, burn calories, save you money, and with all being attentive and otherwise impaired drivers on the road, it's safer than riding a bike. A public service message from WMFO in Medford, Tufts Community Radio. Thank you, everyone. Now we're just gonna play ambient music.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
The crackle of the vape.